Behind it, Larry, is the FCC is going to approve Nexstar's acquisition of Tenga, which is another affiliate group of, another company that has affiliates all over the country. They don't want to tick off the FCC, who is controlled by Trump. Therefore, they went and said, we're not going to.
There you go. You're rejected. You're
controlled by the mango maniac. You're absolutely right. I deserve that. I deserve that. Controlled by the mango maniac. The point is that it was a direct relation to
it wasn't a direct
ABC
relation
leadership afraid of having backlash and profits cut.
Welcome to Third Side Convo with your host, Bob Phipps. Your panelists today are Ted Johnson, Jeff Nolan, Michelle Walters, and Larry Haber. And now, your host, Bob Phipps.
Tonight, we are diving into something that feels more and more unavoidable: how a single clip, a stray tweet, or a poorly timed joke can take down a person, a career, or even a legacy. Jimmy Kimmel's show just got suspended. Remember when Roseanne had the #1 show on television and one tweet wiped it out? Well, now we're seeing the same kind of backlash happen to people on the left at overreactions to Charlie Kirk's assassination. So tonight we ask, is this justice, hypocrisy, or just the reality of the digital age? Jeff, what are you thinking about this?
Well, it's certainly not justice. And I really don't see how the Roseanne situation that you described and this Kimmel situation are related in any way. In one of them, a woman puts out a tweet, then the public shuns her.
Okay.
With Kimmel, the government of the United States pressured a network to get rid of him because a certain person doesn't like him. And they capitulated because they were trying to get a merger through the FTC, which, by the way, just kind of sailed right through. It is the worst example of true suppression of freedom of speech and violation of the First Amendment that I've seen in my lifetime.
Gotcha. All right. Who wants to tackle that one? Larry, you want to tackle that one? Go for it, Larry.
First off, Jeff, the show itself, okay, is a show that is produced by ABC and is sent to its affiliate networks around the country. The first thing that happened with this show was Sinclair deciding we're not running this when he's been doing this for so long and this is the last straw. So Sinclair owns 32 ABC stations. Which one?
Nexstar.
Nexstar, sorry, not Sinclair. Thank you. Nexstar owns. So you're in a situation where your affiliate group says, I've had enough of this, and that's the only reaction you have. We're pulling the show until today.
What, Larry?
Well, look, it's up to a network to decide who's on it or who isn't. Whether they say anything really or not, it don't say anything or not.
This isn't like it was just some straight up business decision. I mean, come on.
It isn't free speech.
Behind it, Larry, is the FCC is going to approve Nexstar's acquisition of Tenga, which is another affiliate group of, another company that has affiliates all over the country. They don't want to tick off the FCC, who is controlled by Trump. Therefore, they went and said, we're not going to.
There you go. You're rejected. You're
controlled by the mango maniac. You're absolutely right. I deserve that. I deserve that. Controlled by the mango maniac. The point is that it was a direct relation to
it wasn't a direct
ABC leadership afraid of having backlash and profits cut.
No, it's called capitalism, and that people have the right, and the executives have the right to be able to decipher on who they want to put on their network and who they don't want to put in their network. The thing is like I said, free speech has a consequence, and in a private marketplace, you are now in the court of appeals. You're in the court of, public opinion, to where it's not the judicial system, it is the marketplace that's going to sit there and dictate it.
You got to be kidding.
No,
That's right.
no, look at it. Look at Ellen DeGeneres. Look
It's
at,
pressure
you know what I
from
mean?
the
Listen, look
government.
at, I mean,
Michelle.
there's
Everybody on
tons
this
of
panel
people,
knows
though.
that. It's just nice to sugarcoat it if it happens to align with an ideology you already held, which I see a lot with this group.
He does the same thing, Jeff. We can keep doing this for the
What
next
is my
half hour.
position, Larry? What is my position?
The fact that none of this should have happened, is illegal, is a violation of God knows what, just because they want to get approval for a next star, whatever. Nothing to do with it. A private company. This is the same reason that a company, a bakery, can decide not to sell a cake to somebody that's LGBTQ.
Okay. I mean, if this was a
Yeah.
reversal, you would be saying the exact same thing I'm saying, Larry.
No.
The only difference is I would agree with you.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
No, I mean, it's just one of those to where, like I said, there's a time and a place for you to be able to sit there and have your own personal expression. I don't go on Monday Night Football and start talking about menopause. So, yeah, no, I mean, and it's one of those to where everybody needs to sit there and at some point be able to stay in their own lane and decipher on what is going to be appropriate to sit there and have these comments or not. And if you don't, if you know what I mean, if people aren't going to align with it, then obviously they're going to speak out in a social manner.
I think it's interesting that the
I'm just dumb.
mango maniac in the White House doesn't have better things to do than worry about what late night talk show hosts say about him. I mean, why is that such a big issue?
Well, I mean, I don't know. We would have to actually sit there and speak with him, but it's not necessarily just, you know, political derived on people being canceled. I mean, there is a slew of various famous people, celebrities, whatever, from, you know, Ellen, like you said, Roseanne. There was James Corbin. There's, I mean, in a slew of them that people did not agree with their positions. The executives that the platform that they were on decided that the message that they were sending to their viewers was not in alignment with what they wanted. And so they pulled them. They have a right to sit there and say, listen, we wanted to sit there. We wanted to put you on the line to sit there to be comedy. We wanted to sit there for you to entertain. We're not putting you on here to be the Megyn Kelly. If we wanted you to be the next Megyn Kelly, then we would have signed that show to you. But no, we're here to entertain. You know what I mean? And with regards to the recent cancellation of a comedic, that he wasn't funny anymore. I mean, he wasn't doing the job that he was hired to do, which was actually just sit there and entertain people.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing what?
This ridiculous conversation.
It's not a ridiculous conversation.
Michelle, the FCC, the head of the FCC is vocally threatening the broadcast licenses of entities, major networks that run content that this administration doesn't like.
Well, it's not necessarily as content that you don't like.
In
regards to the recent one, this is content that was incorrect and it was uninformed. It was ill-informed. So it wasn't one of those that they don't like it. It was that you were wrong and you were incorrect, and we're falling in alignment with we don't agree with what you had to say.
What specifically was wrong and incorrect?
And with regards to the recent cancellation, am I allowed to say
of Kimmel?
On Kimmel, it was good grief. I don't necessarily know the exact verbiage of what he
why
stated.
Are you saying something about it?
Pardon? No. He was saying, excuse me. Let me take a step back. No, he was basically stating, though, that the alleged shooter was, he said the MAGA supporters were sitting there and predetermining that this individual was on the left, and come to find out that the shooter the alleged person actually came from, you know what I mean, a MAGA family, only to a couple of days later to decipher that, no, they weren't. I mean, this particular individual had ideology that was much more in alignment with the left and with the transgender community. So no, I mean, and it wasn't in alignment with MAGA. Maybe their family was, but come to find out that he wasn't.
See, I think that's part of the problem right there.
How is that the problem right there?
Because you assume that someone who's trans is automatically liberal.
Not that. That's not the point. That's not the question.
What is the point? How does he go from a person raised in a
stated that this was that the MAGA supporters were sitting there and they were being, they were pointing them out. They were basically saying, oh no, look what the far left does. The far left is, you know what I mean, too full of hatred. They propose violence, hate speech, all of this other type of stuff. That's what he was basically coming out and saying, is that this was a person that was, guess what? Come to find out, He's a part of the MAGA movement. And then, in essence, he
He
wasn't
didn't
part
say
of the
MAGA movement. He said one of them. Yeah.
He said
So,
it was, no, part of the MAGA movement.
he said one of them.
I don't know.
look at
Where's
how
Joe
much
Boy?
So the
Let's
point
hear
is
it and
that
go
still-
double on that one. No, but the
Still-
thing is the way that I interpreted that the content that he was sitting there and spreading was false and it was inflammatory.
You don't think that the administration jumped at the opportunity to use this to vilify people?
Of
they don't
course
like?
they
You don't
did,
think that
Jeff.
happened?
They went to Nexstar and said, we need to get a memo from you that says that you're going to cancel the show on all of your stations, and we're going to use that as a cover-up. That's exactly what happened. Thank you.
I mean, do you think that there needs to be?
We're going to
these-
wipe out everybody and we're just going to make our
What
own.
the heck?
What-
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
this? Let me ask you a question. Could
There are
this have
elements
been
of the administration that
related?
would love that.
Hey Jeff, could this have been related to the overall kind of malaise of late night talk shows, and what happened to Colbert? I mean, I'm just saying, talk shows are not what we grew up with. That's for sure. Late night.
No, of course not.
No.
I mean, and I think Colbert's an interesting one to bring up as well, because that was perhaps even more overtly about a merger, and it's.
Love it.
Was
Conspiracies
it not?
everywhere when they
Explain to
put
me
the
how it's not.
Democrats.
Well,
Small
Love it.
joy.
What?
Explain it.
What?
Explain.
Conspiracy what?
Well,
the man who loves conspiracies? Larry Haber?
Hey, I'm a CPA. It could have had something to do with the fact he was losing $40 million a year. I'm just guessing.
Absolutely.
No.
You know what I
That's
know.
what they said.
Thank
That's what
you.
they said.
Thank you.
We're not sure that's the case.
Capitalism.
That came out. It wasn't 40. It was 24, but he had to pay 16 as a fine. So now it's 40. That's
All
the
right.
other thing. So one thing that has to be said
Those dollars
is
are-
back
Okay,
to the
last thing.
platform that Michelle was talking about is the fact that the dynamics have changed. And if you said something 5 years ago, nobody cared about it. Now, a certain person in the White House determines that isn't right. And now discourse or comments, something like Matthew Dowd said that perhaps Charlie Kirk's death is related to, some of the things he had said. That's not a hate speech. That's a point of contention to be debated. I posted something about some of the irony of him saying that it was okay for people to die, even young kids,
Right.
to protect the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
That's not hate speech.
That's a fair
point
discussion.
of irony.
All right,
That's-
we're gonna go to
so-
take our first break.
Yeah, there
Listen,
you go.
y'all.
Never mind.
No, Ted. That was a good post. We've got to go and keep moving though. We're gonna get to another subject in a minute. Please subscribe. Yeah, we didn't see that. Please subscribe on Third Side Convo. Go on YouTube and please comment on the show. We're just regular people talking, and I know those of you that are listening would like to throw some comments in there. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
Aww.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. The Tibia Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator rights. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com.
Welcome back. Well, Ted has been so wonderful, and I can't tell you. And he seemed to, we didn't finish his thought there. I mean, as far as it relates to the Charlie Kirk and what's happening on the cancellation, where do you want to see to go with this? I mean, you could have obviously got canceled is what you're saying, right?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Well, I said you could almost have gotten canceled because of the fact you posted something about it. So in other
That's
words,
exactly my point. That's exactly my point. It was not hate speech. It was a point of in the middle contention of that very difficult debate in America we've been having for years, political violence. And just because someone's overly sensitive, he uses a lot of tanner, by the way, stains his shirts and everything. That guy, he's really sensitive about it, and he's intimidated everybody into making decisions. So now the right has become not about free speech, They like the free speech they say, but they don't necessarily want you to have the same free speech and say these things that are different than them.
All right, Larry or Michelle, go.
Yeah, go ahead. No. Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was just being. I feel like you're sitting there making a generalization, though, on the Republican Party, though, that one individual is a representation and it speaks for everyone on. No, not at all. No, not at all. But I no. You know what I mean? And it's your own personal perception, and it's your own, and that's the beauty of being able to live here and to be in a free country is we all have the right to our own personal opinion to be able to sit there and express it. But at the end of the day, like I said, I mean, there is, you know what I mean? There is a social cost to sometimes our political views and being able to sit there and post at them. I mean, and sometimes there is a backlash, but depending upon how people sit there and deem that at what level.
Okay,
you know?
what about somebody just posted on our star system, gave a star and said words are violence. What's the scoop on that? What about violence and words? Can it be that?
Oh, yeah, sure. You don't think someone leading on a political rally after the 2020 election doesn't say words in a certain way that inspires people to march to the Capitol? Is that violence? Well, some people believe it was because they inspired a mob to go wreck the Capitol. Larry disagrees. He thinks it was just a walkthrough. It was more of a tourism thing. But I think, yeah, violence and words are very much connected. Free speech, that's where the free speech issue comes in. You can yell fire, but in a crowded theater, there's consequences.
Absolutely.
But it's okay to bash windows in on the street from the Capitol the same day and not have anybody get arrested. Okay, I follow your reasoning.
Whatever.
Well, what about that? I mean, is there a difference between what happens on each side?
I think it's context, don't you? I mean, right now we're in a very charged particle atmosphere. People are looking for connections and accusations come together. You say something, you're either for or against. And you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, you get fired. Matthew Dowd said perhaps Charlie's comments were, incendiary. Brian Kilmeade says, we should just take mentally ill homeless people and inject them and die. Does he get fired? No. So, the right seems at many times impervious to hypocrisy.
You know what, though? But at least he's still living. You know what I mean? He's able to probably sit there and see his wife and his kids and everybody else. I mean, the thing is I'm like,
Brian Kilmeade?
We're having somebody. I don't. But I'm just.
So you're saying the cancellation was a little more permanent?
Obviously, though, with Charlie, it was definitely permanent, and he had a right to sit there. People sit and take his comments out of context, and they turn it into something hateful and want to go and take out his life. And I don't necessarily see how that's appropriate in anybody's, in anybody's wheelhouse, right, left, up, down. I don't necessarily care what it is. What I see right now, though, is, everything is so politically charged towards hatred and towards, it's like everybody needs to sit there and be your own personal enforcer on a viewpoint that you oppose. And so it is your individual right, if you feel like it's your individual right, to go in and enact your own personal vengeful judgment of that person. And some people are celebrating that. Some, you know what I mean? I'm sure this, a-hole right now is probably have some stupid GoFundMe. And it's, and again, at the end of the day, he has a right to sit there. Charlie Kirk had a right to sit there and state whatever it is he wanted to state. You want to sit here and take some words out of content and, and twist it up and get some kid worked up and wanting to, enact his own personal justice and his own, his hatred towards him. No, it's wrong. I think
where Jeff and I come into the fact that back to the point is that the far left, somebody in the White House who uses too much tenor said it was the radical left who did this. And that's not necessarily true. No one knew at the time. No one knew at the time, but it was the radical left. He said it. So already the
okay, a little bit too direct. Hey, you keep getting direct. That Tanner thing is getting a little ridiculous there. Okay, we're just talking about what happened. Jeff, you're being kind of quiet on this. Is it just ridiculous? Do you see it as ridiculous now for the right to be, making judgments on these people, or what's got you so upset about it?
I don't know what these people are.
Okay,
and I'm really kind of fed up with discourse that just immediately assumes they or us versus, you know, oh, well, the guy gets shot and it's the left or the right, or it's like a whack job shot a guy in America. Right. That happens 100 times a day.
Yeah,
that's right.
Why is this one more? Let me ask the panel something.
Yes.
The same day Charlie Kirk was shot,
mm-hmm.
some vicious right-wing, avowed racist white supremacist walked into his school and opened fire with a handgun. What was the name of the school?
It's in Denver.
What's the difference? I mean, is the difference on who was shot, or is the difference on?
Michelle, you don't have to answer. This is just called deflection. Let him deflect.
Deflection from what? What is that?
Changing the subject to something totally unrelated.
From Larry doesn't want to talk.
No, it's very related. It's very related because Charlie Kirk said that was their second.
Is not somebody. You know what I mean? The kids that were sit there and shot in Denver. I mean, Charlie Kirk is not the person that was. I don't know.
You're looking for us to say we approve of what happened in Denver?
No, I didn't.
The only point of you making that point is deflection.
What are you on?
Only.
Break the pills in half next time, Larry.
Yeah, really.
No, it's not necessarily that, though. I mean, no, it's the thing is though, I agree that you're comparing apples to oranges here. You have to sit there and look at the reason
why does what we're talking about have to do with the shooting in Denver right now, Jeff? Tell me the relevance.
The initial thing that I said is a preamble to that. The thing that happened to Kirk is undeniably just atrocious.
Right.
It was another whack job with a gun shooting a guy in the United States. The same thing happened almost simultaneously at Evergreen High School.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. So in Denver, did you have people that were coming out on social media in Denver? You know what I mean? On whatever.
What's the point, Jeff? You don't make any point at all except to say something.
Absolutely. You just don't want to internalize it because you are so entrenched in your already preconceived things that you won't take any information that may make you think differently.
I just want an answer to the question. I want an answer to the question.
Because
Larry haven't answered it.
What's the question? Hold on, let's back up. What is the question that's standing out there?
What does Denver have to do with what we're talking about in the social media and cancellation and so forth, except to deflect from the conversation?
Political violence? I don't know. Political violence?
But we're not talking about political violence.
Political violence in the school?
You don't think Charlie was canceled by political violence?
Well, I mean, yes.
Oh, we're going to count the school shooting as political violence. Good.
Yes.
I mean, put it this way, it was violence, but it was a nature of that he
influenced by white supremacists. I think that's political. Yes.
What's it got to do with what we were talking about, though? I don't disagree with you. What's the point?
An online kid radicalized online.
Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
Let's show. Who cares? Let's talk about what we were talking about.
We were really more, okay, we got to take our next break, but we were really more talking about, of course, the reaction to it. And as Larry said, no one, and Jeff, it's a good point. If you want to say that there's lots of deaths out there, there are. But it was the reaction to it that we were trying to get to. So please subscribe, thirdsideconvo.com, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music. And again, please comment and like us, and we'll be right back after our last word from our sponsor.
Corona Cigar Company is your one-stop shop for all your cigar needs. Whether that's a brand new humidor, a box of those new cigars you've been waiting for, a top-of-the-line cutter or lighter, a place to enjoy the finest cigars and spirits with friends, or the only cigars grown right here in the Sunshine State, we've got you covered. Come visit one of our retail locations for the ultimate cigar experience. Visit us online at coronacigar.com.
Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
All right, welcome back. You know, aren't most cancellations, though, still a matter of the public? Because Jeff, I know, was thinking that this last one was a governmental thing. I don't know how much power they had in it. But isn't most people is just voting with their wallet? You know, the cancellations that go on of people, they're either not going to watch them anymore or whatever. Why do we have to get it so harsh? Why does it have to, is it just like we take turns? There's a murder. There's a killing. What's the first thing we want to know? What is the political party of the person that did it? It's not a, slamming of it. So that was possibly why Charlie Kirk went down, right? I mean, it was when he went down, there were people celebrating. Don't you agree on the left? There were people celebrating?
Yes.
Probably.
No,
Yes.
I disagree with celebrate. I think pointing out some of the things he said and how they come back as irony. Nobody celebrates a death. I mean, that was evil and vile. And and it's a father's lost. A wife is, loses a husband. There's nothing to celebrate. Don't go there. The fact that they point out what he said in
There's
the
a lot of
past
people that are there.
brings up, are reasonable questions. He was very polarizing. He said very many, very questionable things. He thought the Civil Rights Act was a huge mistake. He hated Muslims. He hated trans people. So these things come up. It's worth debate. But that doesn't mean anybody is celebrating.
There's a lot of people that are celebrating. Unfortunately,
When?
there's a lot of people that are celebrating.
And
No, I mean, they're all over. There's posts
It's all over
on
social media. You ought to take a
Facebook
look
and
sometime,
also
guys.
Twitter.
a little bit.
There's-
'cause I know
yeah,
I'm
I
doing
mean-
I've asked for
It's definitely-
examples of people celebrating, and I haven't seen it. I have never seen anything.
No, after the show, or actually during the after show, then we'll be able to sit there and pull out a couple of them.
That'd be great.
I think you bring up
Absolutely.
something interesting.
No, it is. I mean, and unfortunately, it is.
But
being
is it-
and celebrated, and it's
Okay.
and it's important.
What's that, Jeff?
With this caveat, is it someone on the equal stature of what Charlie Kirk achieved and how many views or how popular it was, and two, or was it an established media platform? That's,
Michelle, now they're
NBC,
going with
YouTube,
numbers and
whatever.
established, even though the arguments before were about a school shooting in Denver that had nothing to do with politics. So just keep your position and don't go for the deflections, okay?
I think that there's an interesting. I think what Michelle said suggests an interesting point. And there are no shortage of online provocateurs, shit stirrers, and assholes that just go ballistic on anything that happens. And this is not even a left-right thing. It happens all the time. And so when we say, oh, the left is celebrating, and in our sort of external email threads or texts, I've asked this question a few times. Who do you know that's celebrating? I know hundreds and hundreds of super lefty people, and I'm in a somewhat public-facing kind of world. I don't know any. Now, so
Same
whenever
here.
I ask that question, it's always like, oh, well, this on Twitter or this on social media. And it's like, well, do you know those people? I mean, what do you mean the left is celebrating? I know, at the risk of, I probably know more lefty, truly lefty progressive people than, say, the average person.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know one that is celebrating this.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I mean, we can sit there and talk about the
sure.
transgender issue. I don't
So
know
what
a
are we
single
gonna-
transgender.
What does that have to do with anything?
It doesn't
Michelle?
mean that it doesn't exist.
Okay, would everybody? We've only got a couple
now.
minutes left. Would everybody agree then that too many? Okay, too many generalizations are being made. Let's just assume that there were people that celebrated. Not important people, just asshole influencers or whatever the case may be. I've certainly seen some, okay? But then we paint the brush on everybody on the left. And you have Jamie Lee Curtis coming out with a heartfelt message. Clearly, good people are not celebrating this thing, okay? But I guess that's the problem with anything. The other side gets defensive, and, we see a little bit of it here today. Okay, what do y'all, so we're all in agreement that nobody should have celebrated, right? Now, are we in agreement that it's fair to cancel somebody if it's done on a corporate level?
Like Michelle said, it depends on the corporate and how they feel it's going to affect their bottom line, mainly with advertisers.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're all
Exactly.
okay
I
with
mean,
that.
because people have been canceled for, things that aren't even any way, shape, or form politically motivated. Look at Matt Lauer.
That's
look
right.
at
Hey,
That was
Larry, what can you
Harvey
agree upon it?
Weinstein, all the other boys that have been gotten on all of the stuff on the Me Too, some of which were probably way overboard. That's the world we live in. So back to your original point, Bob, yes, we're in a digital world, and anything that's said anywhere can become a flashpoint for a whole lot of people.
And everybody's kind of looking for those. They're looking for those gotcha moments, aren't they?
They are.
I think the four of y'all are closer together than most, but you're probably just emblematic of the whole country and how we discuss things, guys. I don't think anybody, I mean, nobody is celebrating the stuff that's happening out there. We're not, okay? So we're not. Now listen, we're all navigating. It's a new digital world, okay? Every opinion is on the record, every joke, right? But if we want a future with fewer takedowns and more talk, we've got to do the hard work. We've got to listen. We've got to react later. And that's a tough one for us. Maybe, just maybe, no hit and post so fast. All right? Thanks for staying in the conversation, and we'll see you back again another week of Third Side Convo.